my initial reaction with finding out we're going to make a new TV show in 7 weeks, I was pretty jazzed.
Straight panic.
So initially I was very stressed.
Well, 7 weeks seemed a little tight.
Most of the students who come to television production have had no meaningful production experience prior to the semester beginning. So the way I design the course is, it's in 2 halves. The first half, we analyze and critique existing television. We watch television, we read about it, and then they write about it. And then in the second half of the semester, they execute all of the lessons that they learned from the first half.
Writing the show was it was a little bit stressful because there's only 2 weeks to do it, and we were targeting around 30 pages or so.
When we started writing, we had about 2 weeks to get the first draft done. And Allison was also directing, which made it kind of hard to really get times that we all could meet and things like that. So it was a lot of the time, just a couple of us. I think there was very when we did it in class, we always were together. But when we had to meet outside, which we did have to meet outside a lot because there's just not enough time, it would usually be 2 of us. We never could get our schedules perfect.
It's pitch day. So exciting.
So my name is Emma Healy. I'm Allison. And today we are going to be introducing you our original series titled Purgatory. This show follows 6 college-age students that are all connected to a jury. But most importantly, Purgatory is a coming-of-age story centered around these students and their battles with mental health and feeling the weight of the world on their shoulders.
I could describe it in one word: stressful. Stressful for sure. Because everyone's trying to be there, but it's hard because if one person can be there, the other one can't. So you got to really find a happy medium so everyone can come together at once.
Yeah, it's definitely honestly made us all closer as people, I think, working on a production like this. It's definitely different than just having a class with 13 different people.
From day one, there's always an overwhelming sense of pride and joy and stress and anxiety, because these are people who've made themselves vulnerable in front of an entire population of people they don't know well, who will then premiere their stories to an entire population of people they don't know well. And they're telling their stories.
I guess being as the producer, I kind of had to take more of a leadership role in the class to make sure everybody's working together, and if there's conflicts, making sure that things will get worked out and stuff. So definitely see more of an emotional side of people, especially since we're all together more often than just 2 days a week in a 50-minute class or whatever.
Working with 13 different people, it's difficult. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Here?
Yeah, or shooting.
Oh.
During our class time, people who don't have class can come a little bit before to set up.
The whole process is rewarding. I don't mind that there's conflict while the stories are being produced. Ask anyone who's ever worked in a movie in any meaningful capacity, there's always going to be conflict. I don't mind the conflict. If it soils and tarnishes the product, then of course I mind it.
I didn't stop talking. Let him talk.
Okay.
Mitch!
So I was thinking that maybe we could do it where you startle her to slam the laptop.
Be like, hey, what you doing?
Yeah,
oh,
just,
nothing.
slams it.
Okay. Yeah, she was
Compared
so in
to
the zone.
her hearing you walk
Yeah.
in, because it's a long time for her to slam the laptop and then you show up on the screen.
Good. I'm gonna take a shower.
Okay, I'll probably be in bed.
Okay, sounds
had
good.
a long day, so.
I didn't expect the level of professionalism that there is, because I was like, okay, yeah, it's for a college class, but it's you guys have real equipment, real studio, it's very, very professional and just well organized and well run. I was like, oh wow, this is cool.
I'm very much, I wouldn't say I'm a hands-off director. I'm more of what do you think that your character is going to do in this situation? And I tell them to veer in different directions if I wanted them to. I do have an image in mind, but I'm working with Mitch, who's a cinematographer and director of photography.
Yeah, there's, 99% of filmmaking is just problem solving. So obviously there's always things on set that you don't expect on the day. It might be too small, but I think overall, I made sure to storyboard pretty to a T, and I had a good idea of what I wanted going into the space and through our location scouting and stuff. So I think there wasn't really anything that caught me by surprise, and honestly, it's been a pretty smooth experience, all things considered.
That's a wrap!
there's story here. There's a lot. There's a lot of good stuff. It needs flow overall.
Post-production and like editing is one of the most stressful parts because, in all honesty, editing makes or breaks it. If we don't have a good edit of it, then all the work was kind of for nothing.
Okay.
I think the emotion is communicated effectively enough. I don't know what kind of coverage you have for that scene.
There was one line that was cut out.
Post-production side of things, I just made sure we had a good workflow and that we were hitting deadlines and that everyone on the post-production team knows what they're responsible for, just to make sure all the different pieces come together. And then I'm also doing a lot of the actual editing itself.
Do you want it? Does it need to be there?
I liked it personally.
You liked it? Okay.
I think, yeah.
So make sure that's in there. Because I think
I'm also a part of the music supervising team, so that means that I'm going on to various different royalty-free websites and finding music that I see fit for wherever we're trying to put music in the show, and that includes the opening and the closing credits.
I think a lot of people don't realize there's so many just like little things, even if it's one cut here or there or holding a little bit too long on one shot, it can totally change like the entire scene and the flow of things. So just making sure that we're on the same page and that I'm bringing their vision to life the best I can.
So I was hoping to cut that in there and then have him like talking while it's her, like, oh, Vinny Baker, and then cut to him.
I have a feeling the final product's going to look good. We put a lot of time and effort into it, and I know the editors are going to put a lot of love and care putting it together, so I'm excited for the final product for sure.